Hey there, y'all. It's your girl, Shawn LeRae, and welcome back. It is time for Boss Talk. Y'all know it's Wednesday, and we are back. So I'm excited to see you and just groove a little bit to my new theme song. Shout out to Wayne Lindsay and Alana Lindsay. So welcome back. It's Wednesday, and y'all know that means it is Boss Talk time. And I am so excited that you decided to join us again. So you know what I'd like to know on this fine Wednesday. What are you doing to help you make it through to the rest of the week so we can get to that weekend? It's hump day, y'all, and we got to do whatever it takes to get us there. So today I help some friends who are moving. My heart is breaking as they move, but they have my heart and they take it with them. And so I help them get ready to get out of Dodge. So shout out to Chantel Denise and John, the Steinreich family, who are absolutely my entire heart and who are on their way to bigger and better and greater things that God has planned for them in Austin, Texas, y'all. So, oh, I had to let you hear that last part because I love that last part. I love the whole thing. Don't y'all love it? So again, I would just want to shout out and thank Wayne Lindsay, who is a major musician, and he has played for any and everybody in the industry. And his daughter, who is has her own group called GAWD, GAWD, and that stands for quote unquote Good Ass Women Deserve. So there you have it. So I just want to shout them out because she's on vocals and he did all the music, and that's him that's saying bold, one of a kind. And do y'all know that if you know what Boss Talk, what the boss in Boss Talk stands for, type it in the chat. I want to see if you know. And I want to shout out from the audience, Miss Connie Montgomery, excited for this conversation. Grateful and thankful to be able to share this experience with our son. Boss Talk LA, thanks Boss Talk LA for the opportunity to share Bubba Graham's musical journey. Yes, indeed. So Connie Montgomery, if you were here last week, put that in the chat and let us know that you were here last week. So Connie Montgomery and Risa Tolbert were my guests last week, and they were simply amazing talking about the journey that we face in healthcare and how to put the care back in healthcare, and telling us about their amazing book called "You're Not Just a Number: Putting the Care Back in Healthcare." And so I'm going to grab that link because we put up the wrong link last week, and I did email those of you whose email I had and sent you the proper link. So I hope you've gotten your book by now, because we all need to have that book. We need to know what they're talking about so that we can advocate for ourselves and our loved ones out here in these medical streets, y'all. So no, I don't see anybody who told me what they were doing to make it through on this hump day to the rest of the week. Does anybody love the weekend other than myself? I love me some weekends, y'all. I mean, my weeks aren't bad. My weeks are great because I get to help people. And I love that. That is why I am in the helping profession as a licensed marriage family therapist and a transformational performance coach. However, the weekends bring something special because I treat the weekends like they're my special gift from God to go and play. And when I was a little girl, my grandmother used to always say, my baby don't want to work. All she wants to do is play. And as an adult of years old, I still live by that motto. So tell me what it is that you do to play, right? Some people play games like, some people use sports as their tool for playing. There's golf and there's tennis and there's, running. There's a group of amazing women that I know here in the Valley, and they have chapters throughout called Black Girls Run. And some of them do, I don't, but they told me I could walk if I wanted to. So we can do that too. So I want to get you all ready for my guest tonight. And I have a question for you. Excuse me, I had to take a sip of aqua. So, how many of you out there have faced fear? Like, we all kind of do that. You know, there's always a place in our lives where we get to face fear, we get to challenge the fear, but sometimes the fear itself keeps us from challenging it, right? And it can be debilitating. And so the title of this week's show is The Gift of Perseverance: Shackle the Fear to Get to the Dream. So if there's anybody out there who has either shackled their fear and gotten to their dream, put that in the chat and let me know about that. And or have you had a dream and you're still shackled by that fear and you want to know how to let go and let God and just get to the next level, the next step in your journey? So please share with me how that is for you out there in Boss Talk land. So I want to tell you about my guest tonight. So the first thing, if you haven't figured it out yet, he is the son of my guest last week, Connie Montgomery. And because Risa and Connie are decided sisters as well as sorority sisters, Alpha Cap Alpha, y'all in the house, then he is also the nephew by love of Risa Tolbert, my other guest last week. And his name, y'all, is Bubba Graham. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about Bubba. He grew up in rural South Carolina, and Bubba was first introduced to music by his parents. On their famous car rides, they would play everything from Alan Jackson to CeCe Winans. As Bubba got older, he began to realize that he had his own voice, a very big voice. So after years of singing in choirs and giving some solo performances, Bubba decided to do music for real. He models his music after some of his favorite artists, which include but are not limited to Michael Jackson, Bill Withers, the infamous Purple One Prince, the Queen, Tina Turner, the baby queen, Beyonce, and Nicki Minaj. Bubba hopes to one day create music that will change people's lives and have them feel encouraged. After writing and recording his first single, King, Bubba knew that this is what he wanted to do forever. So, Boss Talkers, without another word from me, please welcome to Boss Talk, Bubba Graham.
Hello. How's it going?
There he's coming. I hear him. There he is.
Hey, am I in frame? Am I here?
You're here. Thank you,
Awesome.
Bubba.
Awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. You good over there?
I'm good. I'm ready to roll. I'm excited.
Yes, me too. Now, are you still living in South Carolina?
Yes, so I'm currently residing in the Myrtle Beach area of South Carolina. Yes.
Ooh, Myrtle Beach. It's nice there. It's very nice there. I actually have been to Myrtle Beach. I love it there. So, Chantel Denise is in the house, and she says, "Oh, shucking now. Bubba, you chose well being inspired by the Queen."
Absolutely.
Now, Bubba, do you know who Chantel Denise is?
I'm not sure.
So your mom, that's kind of how I know your mom, because your mom was following Chantel Denise, and Chantel Denise and I are besties. And so one day we did a live and your mom came on and I said, "Oh, that's my girl Connie." And she goes, "You know Connie?" And I go, "Yeah, Connie Kirvin." And she goes, no, it's Connie M. And I was like, "Oh," so I thought your mom was another Connie that I knew. And she was always so kind and lovely in the chat and always encouraging. And then she started following me. Yeah. And so that's how we got to know one another.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then on one of the posts, of course, we found out we were sorors.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. So you got some love here. Chantel Denise says, wait, let me see. Hold it. She says, "I love the cornbread song."
Yes, cornbread and cornrows.
Yes, I love that. She says, "I'm about to do a fish fry and jam to that song." Yes, sir. Boy, served on this one. I love it. So, Bubba,
Yeah.
So tell the audience. I want to take these off so I can see you more clearly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to see through the bling, huh? So
Okay.
tell me, what started you? I mean, I know it was the choir,
Yeah.
and there were years and years that you actually didn't step out into this level of Bubba-ness, if
Of
you will.
course. Of course. Right.
Talk about that a little bit. Tell the boss talkers about you.
Yeah. So growing up, I was always infatuated with the idea of performance. From everything from watching The Lion King to the Broadway musical Cats
Yes.
to watching. I remember getting a VHS when I was younger of Michael Jackson's Past, Present, and Future tour.
Oh, yes.
Being so infatuated with that level of performance and just the idea of being in front of a crowd and being able to feed off of that energy and being able to just perform your heart out. I mean, I loved everything from everything that had to do with music and dance and performance. I really enjoyed. I mean, throw out things like Janet Jackson
Oh, yeah.
and High School Musical, and I was into it all really from a young
Yeah.
age. I really, really was. And I think the thing about it is that I always knew in my heart that that's something that resonated with me, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But as you kind of shared in the intro, there was a fear that was attached to me at the heel that kind of wouldn't let me go step out and be great, if you will. So
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that you said step out and be great.
Yeah.
Because so much of the time we have these desires in our hearts and they get shackled. That's your word, shackled. By the way, y'all, that's where I got that word from. He said that he was shackled by fear for many
Yeah.
years, and that resonated with me so much. I started thinking about Mary Mary's song, "Take
Yeah.
the shackles
Shackle.
off me
Yeah.
so I can dance." I just want to praise Him, and I think about shackles. That's a really powerful word
Yeah.
because it indicates that there's no movement, like you are
There's no
shackled to something.
there's no movement. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that is also reminiscent of, our ancestors being in shackles, right?
Yes.
And being a
Ooh,
slave
yes.
to the fear. So whatever the fear kind of told you about yourself, you innately believed it, and your actions then followed whatever that fear kind of spoke
Mm.
to.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
So actually, that's so good, and I love that you made that analogy, the ancestors and being a slave to fear,
Yeah.
but that fear is shaped how you move in the world,
Absolutely.
right? So if we are hiding behind the fear, we
Yeah.
can't be seen in the way that God wants
Right.
us to show ourselves, and
Right.
therein is that hiding the greatness,
Right. Absolutely.
playing small,
Right.
and
Yeah.
and that kind of thing. So, oh goodness, this is so good. So how did you get from behind the veil, if you will, of fear, and get unshackled?
To be honest, I mean, us from the South like to say, you go through a thing or two, you
Yeah.
go through a life, and you realize the importance of your dreams, but also too when you've been in a dark place, right? Been in a dark state of mind, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, in a dark
Mm,
place,
mm,
and you feel like you don't have anything to offer this world, right?
mm.
Only God Himself can bring you out of that
That's
and let
right.
you know that you were created for so much more.
Mm,
But I think the thing about it is, for a long time, I always put my gifts and even my dreams ahead of God. Right. So a lot of times I thought in my mind, well, I like to say I had this idea of pimping out my talents and my gifts. They were little party tricks, right? I didn't realize that these were things, these were tools, these were the slingshot and the stones that God was going to help me to use to change the world around me. I just saw them as just little things that I could do to impress a person or two.
Ah.
But it wasn't until I got to that really, really low place in my life that I realized what was really important. And first and foremost, as a foundation of humankind, that relationship between the creation and the creator.
Ooh, you about to make me cry and shout at the same time. Chantel Denise says you better speak on that. Fear paralyzes folks, and you dropping the good, good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
I was very
yes.
so attached to that fear because, I like to say the enemy and even the world kind of let me know that I wasn't, or to my thought that I wasn't good enough, right?
Hmm.
Going through high school and listening to other brothers, R&B singers like Trey Songz and Chris Brown and Usher and all these guys who had the higher voices and their voices were like silky smooth, and I was like, well, I'm a little rough around the edges, and I got my voice packs a punch, so I don't know if I'll be able to do that. But God let me know in this season that I'm in that same thing that I thought would not qualify me will be the same thing that God will use to place the set the table in front of me for the world to see.
Yes, that is the
God
same
going to
thing
use
that will. Oh, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say God is going to use the same thing that I thought would set me apart, be the thing that brings about the change to me in my life and those around me.
Yes, he's going to use it to elevate you.
Yeah,
I love it. Chantel Denise says, "Speak the name of God, Bubba."
absolutely.
I love it. So, Bubba, you are really dropping some good stuff. Hey, Tamika, how are you, sis? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, uh, so I love when old friends pop in.
Yeah.
Tamika and I go way back.
Hey, Tamika.
Yes. Yes. So listen, when I listen to your music, the
Mm,
very thing that you're talking about that you thought you weren't good enough or that made you
yeah,
that very difference
yeah.
is the first thing I said was like, wow, his voice is powerful and so rich. Those are
Wow.
the things that came to mind for me.
Thank you. Thank you. And that means a lot coming from a performer yourself.
Well, and I can relate because I always think of myself as like, I am Beyonce. I'm not all these other people. And I had to too grasp that, oh, but you are Sean LeRae, and that's a plenty.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
And I believe I heard someone say once that we are all unique expressions of God. So every one of us is
Mm.
valid on this planet.
Yes.
So it does you no good to sit here and compare yourself to another human being because it's literally comparing two different types of fruit. And after
Exactly.
it just never is going to measure up. And
Exactly.
that's why I appreciated circling back to Tina Turner. That's why I appreciated her so much because
Yes.
similarly, she had this big lioness of a voice, right? Well, she was in a
Hmm.
genre where all the men were taking over, but she was like, "Hey, push to the side, boys. I want to show you how to really do it."
Yes.
And it was so beautiful to be able to see her, someone with this not as silky smooth as some of the other singers of her time. I remember in an interview she talked about how once upon a time she thought and she realized, well, I'm never going to be a Diana Ross. And
Exactly.
she realized that she doesn't have to be.
There you go. And
Yeah,
that is the piece. I love what you said about the fruit because
yeah,
when you said I'm a very visual person, so when you said
yeah,
that, I envisioned a bowl of fruit with apples and oranges, bananas, grapes, all those things. So you can fill a fruit bowl with all the differences, all the beautiful varieties that God allows us to have. So I love that. Let's see. Tamika says, what did she say? Way back. That's right. And now that I think about it, Tamika and I used to go and hear music a lot. And I think Tamika's even come to one or two of my performances back in the day. Now, Mr. Seals, who I put up before but didn't read, he says he better late than never. Yes, sir. Hi, Mr. Seals. He says he needs a channel of inspirational talk because he is very good. Ooh,
Oh,
see, they are
well, thank you
loving
so
you.
much. feels. I appreciate that.
They are loving you. Now, Connie says, hey, Shauna Ray Brinkley. Hey, girl. So I just actually spoke you up, Miss Connie, because this is who I thought the Connie was when I said hi to the Connie
Yeah,
when Chantel and I
yeah,
were live. I thought
yeah.
it was Connie Kierman. Hello, sis. Also a singer, and she agrees about the voice. Yes, rich and powerful. Now, she says we are all unique expressions of God. Love it, love it. And Shani Shan says, Sean LeRae is in the dictionary, girl. You were even before consent. I guess she's saying I was here even before conception. Girl,
Yeah.
what else is she saying here? Well, at least my dictionary. Ah, my whole heart, my whole heart, my whole heart. So, Bubba,
Yeah.
tell us how you got from, okay, maybe this can be a thing, to
Yeah.
it being a thing.
Yeah, really. It wasn't until earlier this year, actually. I was having a phone conversation with one of my friends, and he was letting me know that he actually started to put some music out onto what was it, like SoundCloud and stuff. And I went to go listen to some of his music, and I was like, hmm, if he can do that, then I can definitely do it. Now, rewind a little bit back in 2017, I had some really, really cool, great friends of mine. Shout out to Dreek and Zay and Devin and Kevin and Domo, all these guys who I went to college with. Who, well, Dreek was the one who came by my apartment, and I had, my songs written in a notebook, and I just sang them for him, and he was like, "You got something special, man." But that was back in 2017. But
Okay.
I got bitten by the bug back then because I was able to hear my songs that I had written to actual music that Drake
Oh.
produced. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. This is really interesting. But I was still very skittish, very, very scared about it, right? Because even then, back then, they were like, man, if you really want it, you could go places with this. You could really make waves. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, go into 2019, and oh my gosh, my world got shaken upside down. Sometimes when you go
Ooh.
about your business and ignore God, sometimes He needs to get your attention.
Oh
And
yeah.
essentially, what He did, He got my attention big time.
He
It
knows how to holler at you.
Yeah, exactly, and bring you back into the fold.
For
And
sure.
then forward into 2023, I went on a fast in January with my church, and that gave me a lot of eye-opening revelation that kind of given a little bit of the backstory of I thought for a long time that it was my dreams um, aside from God, right? But then I realized that it's my dreams and God, right?
Come
It's
on.
God and my dreams. He's the one who gave me the dreams in the first place,
That's
right?
right.
The one who
That's
gave
so
me the vision
right.
in the first place. So when I was able to submit that to him, that's when he was like, all right, well, here's your parameters, you know,
Yes.
because if
Oh
you know,
yes.
yeah, because if you notice from some of my songs, I don't really cuss. There is one cuss word in King, but he already convicted me on that. But giving me the parameters of like, okay, this is the box you can be in, but you can play in this little box here,
Yes.
um, or this big box really, and have the time of your life. And that's when I was like, okay, well, what do I have in my hand right now? And at the time, all I had was my voice, my phone, and my TV. And I was like, okay, well, I like to sing. So let me just post videos of me singing karaoke tracks onto
Okay.
onto TikTok. And I started doing that, and they started to take off. Well, I wanted to get a little bit more creative because I felt like my creative juices weren't flowing as much. So I decided to do little freestyles to the karaoke tracks,
Oh,
right?
okay.
On original work. And that's when people are like, oh my gosh, we love this. Who is this guy? Who is this voice? We really like him. And specifically, one video went particularly semi viral. And people were saying all these very nice things, and it was just a confirmation from God that this is what I created you to do. you know
Hmm.
and it wasn't until that the virility, that viral video kind of going down, that I kind of got, I found myself at a crossroads, if you will. And I was there and I felt like I had a choice. Internally, I felt in my spirit I had a choice where it was, because I kept posting videos even after that viral video, but it wasn't getting as popular as the previous one. And I was like,
Okay.
going on? What's happening? Like I said, I felt like I was at a crossroads where
Mhm.
I had the choice to give up or to persevere and keep going.
Yes,
So I
that's
made up in my mind. I was like, you know what, God? It was like this righteous anger that I had. I was like, you know what, God? No, I'm believing that you have called me to this, so I'm going to do it. And I promise you, Sean Leray, I promise you, that same day, I'm on FaceTime with my sister. I'm on Facebook, excuse me, and trying to look up all these different apps, trying to find people who I could maybe join a band with, or
hmm
I even put a post on Facebook who would like to join a band and all this kind of stuff. And in that exact moment, so when you have a viral video, sometimes you don't get every notification. Okay.
right,
But this
right.
particular notification I received on my phone, and it was a notification from a Theo Johnson. And he was like, hey, man, we have a studio in Myrtle Beach. We would love to work with you. And I was like, wow. So I went to go click on it. And he said, and in that same message, he said, check your DMs. I checked my DMs. He was like, hey, man, I used to see you around campus at Coastal Carolina University. I didn't know you could sing. You know, I work for a recording studio in Myrtle Beach, would love to work with you. Because I knew that I was probably still in the area, because in that video, I was wearing a Coastal Carolina hoodie. So
Okay,
kind of
okay.
figured that I was probably still local or in the area. And, long story short, I was able to make the connection that day. And God has opened so many doors for me to be able to do exactly what I love to do, which is
I
music.
love it. That is so beautiful. And I love how, God will set something in front of you and then you'll look at it and you'll be like, well, wonder what that's for. And then you'll see the other puzzle piece.
Yeah.
And guess what? They fit. And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, look at that. And then here comes the other piece
Yeah.
until you have this beautiful
Right.
mosaic
Right.
and it's just there right for you. I
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that. Chantel Denise says, Bubba, I can't wait to do a duet with me. Your mama is my girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
She also says, ooh, that's good right there. I love how you fasted and got connected with God on the matter because you have a gift.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Listen, I love your style. And your mom, when your mom was telling me about you, she never said what kind of music it was that you do
Right.
until our show last weekend. When I asked her, she said it's kind of an R&B kind of soul kind of, and I was like, okay, great. I'm not I know his mom, so I know I'm not getting ready to put on my show some rapper cussing and screaming and talking about girl body parts. So
Right.
so I
Right.
was really excited about that. But when I hit that button, and the first song I heard, like Chantel Denise mentioned, was Cornbread and Cornrows. And and I'm not that right there, just the title reminds me of my childhood, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just connected with it in such a great way. And we were saying, Chantel and I were talking today, and we were like, we need to connect you with our little brother because our little brother is doing this whole Southern soul thing going on right now.
Oh,
Shout out to
yeah.
Lamar Deuce Lubin,
Yeah.
uh, who has a new single out called Just Like That. And it's a dance groove, right?
I
And
like that.
so, but there's something about that Southern soul that is so, again, I will use the word, it's so rich.
Yeah.
It's deep, it's heartfelt, it's
Yeah.
all the things that encompasses our music, and the great thing I think also is that your music is not just it's kind of across the board, like everybody can relate to it in some way or another, the
Yeah.
style of it. And so it's really beautiful. And shout out to Theo, who was helping to make some stuff happen. God used him in a powerful way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm so grateful that you said that, that my music's kind of all across the board, because what I am making now, the music that I am making now, and that's why I pride myself on being an independent artist, is the music that makes me happy. I listened
Ooh,
to everything growing up, right? So I want to be able to serve people, things that really resonate with me. And being from the South is one of those things, you know. I remember actually there was a point in time where I considered just kind of boxing myself off and doing country music. And it wasn't until, my dad and my friend Dreek and some people talked to me, and they were like, but you can do it all. You have the ability to do it all. So don't limit yourself. Just have fun. And that's been such a great experience. I like to say my music is pop, because one day, I'm speaking into existence, it will be popular.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I consider my music pop music.
I
Uh,
like it.
haven't
I
heard
like it.
They just haven't
And
heard it yet.
yes, and you can make it be whatever you want it to be. So if you
Right.
want to call it pop music, we'll follow you in that vein and make it popular.
Yeah.
I love that. So we just kind of put Lamar Deuce Lubin in the chat because we discovered one day we were on here and I was talking about Tony,
Yeah.
and one of my dear friends who isn't here yet, but I'm sure she'll pop in before the night is out. Her name is Gigi Jerry Morrison, and she said Jerry Morris, and she said that Amar Khalil, the lead singer of Tony, he replaced Raphael Sadiq, was her uncle, and I was like, "What?"
Wow.
And she put a photo in the chat, and she put at Amar Khalil, and within minutes he popped on, and he's like, "Hey, what's going on here?" So he actually was alerted that somebody had put his handle in
Yeah.
came on. So we're gonna try to get Lamar Deuce Lubin to come on here and maybe we can introduce y'all via Boss Talk today.
Absolutely. That would be amazing.
Yes, indeed. So
Yeah.
I think that, at this point, I am sure that the folks out there would love to hear some of your music. So may I play something?
Absolutely. Go
Yeah.
for
Now, YouTube can be a little bit cranky, and probably
it.
StreamYard too. They can be a little bit cranky when we play music because they think we don't have the rights. But I'm just gonna say this out loud if y'all are listening, and I know you are. We have the right because we have the artist himself right here saying it's okay.
Absolutely.
So we do have the rights to this song.
Yeah.
Connie says this conversation is amazing. Keep it real tonight. Absolutely, Lady Montgomery. Absolutely. So I'm going to share the screen so they can actually see the YouTube,
Yeah.
or not the YouTube, I think it's going to be on Spotify
Right.
here. So y'all, you are about to be blessed with the soulful stylings of Mr. Bubba Graham. And now, Bubba, I'm going to ask you, how did you get that name?
You already know. Yeah. So it's a family name. It's a family name. My grandfather had it, as well as my great uncle had it, and it was just passed on to me. My family decided I was blessed and crowned with that name. So
I
I
love
wear
it.
it
And
proudly.
is that your given name?
Yeah. So my first name is Blake Graham.
Okay, so Blake Graham is your government name.
My government name, for the documentation and copyright purposes.
Yeah, when you send in big checks.
Exactly. But Bubba Graham is what I go by for family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it fits you, it suits you well. So y'all, I'm getting ready to go ahead right now. And I want you to see Bubba's layout here on Spotify. And we're going to hear some cornbread and cornrows. So here we go. And here we go again. Oh, don't even do it to me. All right, y'all. I'm gonna come off because y'all can't see my password. And I'm gonna find it because the truth is I am actually on I'm on a computer that is not my regular computer, and it does not save any of my passwords because I don't remember the password that I used when I bought the computer. So I'm
Yeah.
actually on the guest track. So hold on, we're going to find the Spotify. But meanwhile, so Bubba, I want to ask you, because when I was growing up, I was the kid that, like you, sang all the time around the house.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Did you ever use the brush as your
I used the brush, not use anything as a microphone. I remember, excuse me, to this day, my parents kind of yelling across the house, hold it down, hold it down. 'Cause I'm out like I am performing in front of a 3,000 people.
Yes, yes,
You
yes.
know? But
And
no,
I'm sure when company come, huh?
no, I was just going to say, but that also too speaks to, even when I was younger, even being attached to that fear, there was still that vision, right? Because I could see my
Right.
doing it. Yeah.
Sure. And you know what happens when you are a kid, you will jump as high as the sky.
Yeah.
You will run as fast as the wind.
Yeah.
You will jump off of things you know you got no business,
Yeah.
and you have no fear. And
Yeah.
then you grow up and you have a little bit of life. A
Right.
little bit of life creeps in there. And
Right.
somebody said this, and you
Yeah.
believed it. And
Yeah.
somebody else said that,
Yeah.
and you believed it. And it just starts on this cyclical wheel of I'm not enough. Or
Right.
maybe they're right. Or what if they're
Right.
right?
Right.
And then in that we get stuck
Right.
and kind of lost in the dreams go awry.
Absolutely. And I think also too, another part of that fear that I don't think a lot of people really
Oh,
discuss as much.
okay,
Can you
wait a
hear me?
minute. It popped up. So go ahead, finish that thought. I want to hear
Yeah.
that.
No, I was just going to say, I think another part of that, that fear that a lot of people don't really talk about as much is that fear of success, right? Because
Oh,
in my
yeah.
mind, I thought also, well, okay, say if I am, what if I do this? But I get as big as Michael Jackson, or I get as big as Whitney Houston. But you saw how the public treated them, right?
Yes.
Want to experience that either. So it was like,
Hmm.
so it was not only the fear of, well, maybe you're not good enough to do this, but okay, also the fear of maybe you're good enough to do this, but when you do this, something tragic will happen. You know,
Yes.
some
And
scam.
we do have enough examples of that to give us pause.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. That I think it's wonderful that in spite of all of that fear and outside of all of that fear, that you were able to listen and hear God's voice and hear Him reassure you that, no, I got you on this.
Absolutely.
I gave it to you. It is yours. Now you are not to hide it under a bushel.
Right. Right. And it's
Yeah.
funny you say that because the parable of the talents. When I was going through
Yes.
my dark times, that would haunt me, right? Because I just was at the time I was saying that I was scared of, well, God, I don't know what you want me to do right now, which talent to do, because I'm also a writer and I'm also an actor and I can direct and all this kind of stuff. So I said that my fear was I didn't know what to choose, but really I had all my perspective, my how can I say, my priorities out of whack, because like I said, God needed to strip everything from me to show me that my relationship with him comes first and foremost.
Yes. Ooh,
These little talents and these abilities that I have, these skills, are only used to bring people closer to him. These are
that's
only
right.
tools. These are not, these things aren't who I am. And
Right.
that's where I think where a lot of the issue came from as well, as I
Oh.
defined myself based off of my talents, but
Hmm.
also having the fear of thinking that you're not good enough. So I was messed up.
Yeah. like we all. It's so good that I love that you made that distinction, because we do have to make that distinction between the creation and the creator.
Yeah,
And God gave us the creation. He is the creator, and he created us for this greatness, but so that this greatness glorifies his greatness.
absolutely.
And so it can get lost in the sauce, because for those for every one, I'm sure, of the people who said, or who you thought were saying, or you heard in your head, of the stories and the voices that your brain told you that were not true, there was somebody out there saying, you're amazing, you're awesome, you're great. And then you're like, well, I must be awesome, I must be great.
Right.
And then we go out there on that, and then we forgot, oh, there's a reason for that, and it ain't about me.
Absolutely. Correct.
It ain't about me. We have a proud papa. He says, Mr. Dwayne Graham, hello, sir. Thanks for tuning in again this week. It's good to see you. And he says, proud of you, son. And there's never anything greater than to have a parent who says out loud that they are proud of you. And that is a beautiful thing. So, y'all, I just put in the chat, and I'm going to put it on the screen, where you can find Bubba's music on Spotify. But right now, while we were chatting, I was able to actually log into Spotify. They get you every time. And now we're going to hear Cornbread and Cornrows. So here we go. Okay, question. I just want to check in. Can y'all hear it? Or do I need to share?
I can't hear it yet.
Okay. Yep. I think I have to share like I was doing before. Hold on one second. Going back to share. And let me make certain that I have the share tab and audio. There we go. Okay. Now tell me, can you hear it?
Okay. Not yet.
I need to start it over. Hold on. I need to start it from the very beginning because I like every bit of the lyric. Okay. Here we go.
There you go.
Got a voice like Whitney Houston, heart like Dolly Parton, body built like an acoustic. Boy, don't get me started. She say she down there from Charleston, where the good food at? I say, girl, what's that you're talking? Good food's what I'm looking at. She's the reason that I pray, why there's meat up on my bones. She's the Billy to my Ray, why I sing with so much soul. Cornbread and cornrows.
I love it.
She say that the people teach it, mixed with Cherokee. She say just don't come real easy. Girl, I ain't pleased. She say that her daddy preaching and her mama teach. Lord, she's sweet like Georgia peaches and got 3 degrees. Baby, all I gotta say is I gotta make you mine. Or a Layla Hathaway with a splash of country wine. Cornbread and cornrows. Now break it down now. I'm gonna have y'all saying, yes, by the end of this year. Here we go. Bring the groove in. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Now what you say, boy? Throw it back and forth like a wash machine. Thicker than a ham with a pot of greens. Look like a girl on a magazine. Cornbread and cornrows. What you say? Throw it back and forth like a wash machine. Thicker than a ham with a pot of greens. Look like a girl on a magazine. Cornbread and cornrows. Throw it back and forth like a wash machine. Thicker than a ham with a pot of greens. Look like a girl on a magazine. Cornbread and cornrows. Throw it back and forth like a wash machine. Thicker than a ham with a pot of greens. Look like a girl on a magazine. Cornbread and cornrows. Cornbread and cornrows. Yeah. Here we go. Bring it back up. Yeah.
Woo!
That's all right. Cornbread and cornrows. Cornbread and cornbread. Cornbread and cornrows.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So I can't let y'all hear no more. Cause you gotta go get it. You gotta go get it. So y'all, what Chantel Denise said, God created you in his image. So you are good to go. Your gift is the display of his creation. Yes. I love that. What else they saying out here? Hey, Nene, Renee Hadley. My girl Renee Hadley says, okay, Baba. That's how she would have said it, exactly like that. Am I right? Thank you, Nene.
Yeah.
And Miss Chantel Denise says, this song would be good for a show like the Sons of Anarchy, Queen Sugar. Absolutely. Absolutely. I see that. I see that. So let's see what we got here. Mama Connie said, yes, cornbread and cornrows. Love it. All glory to God. Absolutely. Absolutely. And Lauren Keys said, hi. Hello, hello. Thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you. Connie says, Connie Kiervan says, very catchy song. I love it. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and put it right back up in the chat where you can go to Spotify and I just went to Spotify. Sorry. All right. And grab hold of Bubba's whole, was that an album? What is that in there?
So that's a single. All the songs that I have out right now are singles. They're all the setup to an album.
There it is.
I just want to explore and I just want to have fun and make the music I want to make. And when I feel
Yes.
I'm in the season to make an album, then I will go into album mode. But
That's it.
I just want to play and have fun right now.
Well, your playlist is an album to me. I'm just saying. So it is so awesome. So y'all go right there, open Spotify.com/artist, etc. Go just click on that link and get Bubba's music. Get that playlist and you will be jamming. That's it. That's all. Because it's good. It's also on Apple Music. So I'll let that one rest there for a few minutes. Now, Bubba, I'm going to put up your Instagram and your TikTok. I was like, did I say that right? I almost said, my brain was saying, my mouth was saying TikTok and my brain was saying tic tac. So, so let me get all these great ways to contact Bubba on here. So if you are a music producer and you are looking for a project, we have a fantastic one right here, right now. Bubba, I almost said Bubba Gump. Bubba Graham. Bubba Graham is well worth the investment. I absolutely love it all. So, Bubba, we're getting close to the end of the show. And what I always like to do is I like for my guests to give my boss talkers some words of wisdom, some final thoughts that you want to share today. And since we've talked about, shackling, how we're shackled to the fear. So I wanted to maybe if you could give a formula for the gift of perseverance and how to shackle the fear to get to the dream.
Yes, absolutely. Well, first, let me say I've heard someone say once, fear is false evidence appearing real.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. So everything that these hypotheticals, these stories, these kind of things that you are kind of working out in your mind over and over and running in your mind and playing over and over in your mind, these things are not real. That's not reality. But also to understand that God places a gift and a dream in each and every individual. I believe that. And I would say first and foremost, as a words of wisdom, would be connect with God, reconnect with God, get with God. Let him tell you who you are. Okay? Because we live in a society right now where we have social media and your friends and even your family trying to put these labels of who they think you are. Listen, they are only products. They are only creations. So they can only tell you, they only have like just limited view of who you actually are. You need to go to the creator. You need to go to God and say, God, who am I? What have you placed in my heart to do on this planet? But then also to understand that God may place this big dream in your heart, and sometimes, just like me, you have to just act and step out on it. All I had in my hand was a phone and my voice and a TV to sing songs. But now I'm creating my own music simply because I said, God, I believe this is a dream that you've placed in my heart. This is a gifting that you've placed on my life. So I'm going to step out into the vision, and God brought the provision. Right. So don't worry about how it's going to happen. Don't worry about the lack of resources. Understand that you are connected to, or you can be connected to the God of the universe who has
Mhm.
all the connections, who have all the resources. You are not lacking anything. There is nothing that you do not have. But you have to connect with Source first. You have to connect with God first so He may be able to direct your paths. And
Mm.
yeah, you might not be able to see the mountaintop. You can only see the path. Or you may be only be able to see the mountaintop and not the path. But if you walk hand in hand with God, He will lead you in the direction that you should go.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Now I said give us a few little parting words, but I'm pretty sure you just preached, baby. Come on. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. You are not just a prolific, amazing singer with a voice that has a golden glitter from God on
Thank you.
it, but you are a wise young man, and I love your spirit. I love the way that you allow God to use you and to bless all of us out here. Um, I love that your music, like I said, it can speak to us all. So if there's some young person out there who is trying to connect with who they are and connect with their dream and the possibility versus the impossibility of it, you are the greatest example of that ever, because you're transparent, you share from your heart, and it is clear, and your warmth and gentle spirit is so funny, because you have such a gentle spirit, and then this voice comes out here and just packs the punch, and it's just powerful. It's a beautiful dichotomy, darling.
Yeah.
I love it. Now, and I shared with you before when Bub and I were talking, he shared with me that this quote that I have up now: stepping into the vision and God brings the provision. And that resonated with me so much, Baba. So thank you for that and the many other gems that you dropped in here tonight. And thank you for being a shining example of what God can do. Right next to you, they should put that little lady dance and talk about, won't he do it? Won't he do it? I love that. I love it. So let me put up more of how people can connect with you. I put up your Instagram, and I'm going to put up where'd it go? I want to put up, well, see what Miss Grant said here. She said, preach. Hello, Bedelia Grant. Thanks for tuning in tonight. And if you are a first timer here, then thank you for coming. And please go ahead and click that little subscribe button, and then click on that bell so you will be alerted every time we go live. But just so you know, we go live every Wednesday at 6:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8:00 Central Standard Time, and 9:00 on that East Coast. So follow Bubba on TikTok right there. It's in the on the screen there, and you can go back and watch this show live. Well, not live, but you can watch what we did while we were live anytime, just by clicking on the same link that got you here. We are live every Wednesday on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And please subscribe and like and comment and share. When you comment and encourage Bubba and I, it warms our heart, and it just makes our brains go wheels are turning and we can drop some more gems for you all. And you all, if you've never been here before, please come back and go back and watch some past shows, because I've had some amazing, amazing guests on this show. And Bubba, now I'm happy to add you to that list. Chantel Denise has been a guest, and her husband, and I have a lot of amazing friends. And if they're not my friends when they get on here, they certainly are after they leave, because this is a family. And so I want to thank you all for tuning in once again to Boss Talk. Bubba, you stay put. I'm going to say good night to the rest of y'all. I want you to be so encouraged. So I'm going to put up Connie Kiervan's message. She said, the hook is fire. Bubba, your voice is warm and inviting. Absolutely. So y'all, we're going to have to say good night, and I hate to do it, but you all know that we're just here for a short time, but we love you so long. And so next week, Wednesday, 6:00, we'll be right back here. And this has been Boss Talk with Sean LeRae, and that's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. I want to shout out my producer, Crystal Larte, who is traveling the world, and so she wasn't here with us tonight. So therefore, I don't have all my links, so bear with me. But y'all know where to find me. On Instagram, I am at Living Loved Healing. My website is livinglovedhealing.org. My coaching site is livinglovecoaching.com. And this has been Boss Talk LA. So I'm going to play out my theme song because y'all know I love it. And again, I'm going to shout out Wayne Lindsay and Alana Lindsay for creating this amazing tune just for me. Thank you. Love y'all. Thanks, Chantal Denise. Thanks, Connie Kiervan. Thanks, Connie Montgomery. Thank you, William Seals. Thank you, Bedelia, who just jumped on. Lauren Keys, thank you for popping in. Tamika Barnes, it was awesome to see you. Connie Kiervan, I love you and thank you. And if I missed anybody, charge it to my head and not my heart, because I love you with all of my heart. Here we go. Thank you. We love you. Smooches to you too, Connie. And we'll be back. So bring some friends next week. And Bubba, thank you. I love you, my little brother. You're amazing. I'm going to put the link back up for his music, y'all. Go get it. Superstar. Good night. We love you.